So we'll get started. We're still waiting on one of our kindergarten teachers. She's walking and gets a special official. We have another kindergarten teacher who will not be able to make it today, but you will introduce a few of them. Okay, so let's start with some introductions. So my name is Michael Glynn. I'm the principal here, and this is my first year here in this building. I'm the first year in the district. So with me today, I have Mrs. Evans, who's our assistant principal. Over here to the side, I have Monica Sabine, who's our district curriculum coordinator. And then we have some teachers that I'd like to introduce. So we have Mrs. Pollock, who is one of our pre-K teachers. We have Mrs. McGarvey, who's our second pre-K teacher. So we have two pre-K teachers here. And we also have two of our kindergarten teachers here right now. We have Mrs. Knoll and we have Mrs. Rivard. Okay. Also, I don't know if she's in here right now, Mrs. Storman, who you've seen in the office, she's doing your registration packets. She'd be the one to reach out to if you have any questions about what you need to bring or just anything along those lines. And also in the back, we have Jessica Hall, who is the head of Hall's Transportation. So if you have any bus questions or comments, please reach out to her. Oh, good. And before we go on to this slide, just really quickly, just a show of hands, how many families are here right now for pre-K for the fall? So majority, and then the rest are kindergartners. Perfect. And how many of you here are brand new to our school? Like, so you have no other children in our district, so brand new, first time? Perfect. Yeah. Welcome. We're happy to have you. All right. So we're going to go through some pre-K information and some kindergarten information kind of at the same time. I'll do some talking. Mrs. Evans will lead some talking, and then Mrs. Sabine will talk a little bit about the curriculums in both pre-K and kindergarten. Oh, yeah, she can come in. Yeah. Oh, she knows. So for starters, we have two different sessions for our pre-K. We have a morning session that runs from 7:30 to 10:45. Those students will ride the bus with all of the other students when they come in the morning. So they'll get here about 7:30, anywhere from 7:30 to 8 o'clock. They'll go right down to our pre-K wing, and our pre-K is in its own separate location, kind of right off the office there. We have two classrooms down there, right next to our nurses station and right next to our library. And then we have a afternoon pre-K session that starts at 11:30 and goes to 2:30. So there'll be separate bus that will drop off the kids in the morning at 10:45, and then they'll pick up the afternoon kids at before 11:30, and then bring them here, and then those pre-K kids in the afternoon will ride home on the bus with all of our other students. Okay. All pre-K sessions will run daily, so there'll be 5 days a week, Monday through Friday, just like our normal pre-K through 5 students. So our pickup students, if you are planning to drop off your child in the morning and or pick them up, you're more than welcome when you get here in the morning to walk your child to their classroom. That goes for kindergarten students as well, and all the way up through to 5th grade, if they'll let you walk them up, okay? And if you're picking them up, we'd ask you to be here right at that 10:45 and or right at 2:10-ish in the afternoon to pick them up. Okay. Now for meals, if you're in the morning session, you will have breakfast with us, and if you're afternoon session, you'll have lunch with us. If you reside in Stetson, is anyone here in Stetson? No one? It's not applicable, but just so you know, you will be in the morning session, okay? And that's to help out our transportation department. One of the other things that if if you are picking up your child, or if you're sending somebody else to pick up your child, even if they're on the emergency contact list, you want to just make sure you give us a call ahead of time, just so we're aware that somebody new might be picking them up. And they may ask for their ID just so they can match it up. So we don't want to send a child home with someone that's not supposed to have them. Okay? So we want to make sure that they're safe here in school. So we might double check or triple check a lot of times. Okay, so it's really great if you send in that information. All right. So kindergarten runs from 7:30 to 2:30. They're here full day. They will get breakfast and lunch, and we also have snack time thrown in there as well. All of our kindergarten students run on the same schedule as our 1st through 5th grade, meaning that they'll have all of our specials, all our allied arts. So they'll have PE, they'll have music, they'll have art, and they'll have library. Our pre-K students don't do that quite yet. Once they get to kindergarten, and then that's when they have the allied arts. And same thing with transportation. If you are driving your child to school, you go park in the second loop. You can walk them right to their classroom. And then if you pick them up at the end of the day, right at 2:13 is when we call for parent pickups. But if you show up right anywhere from 2 and 2:10, you'll be ready to go. All right. Here we have just some pictures of what to expect when you see the classrooms. These here are 2 of our pre-K classrooms, and then pre-K has its own dedicated playground that's designed specifically for students that are like right in that developmental age. Okay. Yeah.
Good?
Yeah, I think so. All right, and our kindergarten wing, when you get here, and if you've never been here, you would walk in just like you did. You're gonna go all the way up to the top of the ramp, and then take a right, and that's our kindergarten wing. They are kind of down there by themselves. And then when they go to 1st grade, they'll go to the other side of the building. They'll be with 1st and 2nd grade. So kindergartners are kind of there with their teachers, kind of not separated from the other classrooms, but we want to make sure that they have their own space. And kindergarten is, as I say, it's different in kindergarten. It takes a lot of time to really get into what school looks like. And you'll notice too pictures of the classrooms, and we have our playground. That playground there is our K2 playground, and it's located right outside the kindergarten classrooms. They'll be out there though just with kindergarten students. Okay, and they'll recess typically once a day. I know in the beginning of the year, end of the year, teachers and myself always like to throw in some extra recess time. All right, some special events to look forward to. So our open house will be on Tuesday, August 26th. And I believe our time right now is from 5 to 6:30. Okay, so Tuesday, August 26th, 5 to 6:30. That'll be a time when you can come and actually go look at your child's classroom. By then you'll know who your child's teacher is. And it'll be the same thing for pre-K too. You'll be able to come in, check out their playground, check out their classroom, check out the playground, and kind of see what it looks like down there.
And typically we send out letters, usually in August, for any students who are new to our building or pre-K students. So be looking for those coming to you. If you don't hear from us by, let's say 2nd week in August, give us a call, and we can let you know who your student's teacher is.
All right. Also, some of the things that will happen kind of throughout that year is we will have 2 nights of parent-teacher conferences. So we'll have a fall time, typically end of October, November time, and then another time in the springtime in March, where you get to come in and meet the teacher again, talk about how your child's doing, and kind of just celebrate their growth. And our kindergarten students will be doing our concerts, just like our 1st through 5th grade. So we'll have a holiday concert and a spring concert. Our pre-K, we do it a little bit differently. We have some different family engagement nights where we invite you in for different activities.
I think this is still you.
Oh, still me.
Yeah.
All right. So a few of the things for what to expect in those first few days of school. A lot of times, and this is true for any grade level, one of the things that teachers are going to focus on are those expectations of what does school look like, what does it sound like, what are things you should be doing during this time versus during that time. So those first couple days and those first few weeks are all about routines. They're all about making sure that the students know kind of what's expected of them. So you might, one of the things that you'll see too is that students those first couple weeks, we want to make sure that they're excited to be here. We want them here. One of the big things is make sure that they're getting here kind of on time and ready to learn. I think Mrs. Evans is going to talk a little bit about that as well.
Yeah. Not right now, though.
Oh, okay.
I have my own dedicated slide for that.
How many of you so far have received your first day packets with your registration information? You got the registration information, right? Okay. So you'll fill that packet out. That first day of school, and you might get it at open house too, you're going to receive another packet of information that will need to be filled out. And that kind of just updates all of our information, talks about emergency contacts, all of those things. And if you can get that back to us in a timely manner, that'd be perfect.
Oh.
I think that's open if they just, oh, maybe it's locked. Another thing that we will be doing, and we'll do it throughout the year, but we usually start them, I know this year here we have one on the second day of school, is we will do fire drills. We have to do 10 in the school year. We try not to hit those winter months because it's a little cold out there. So we will do 10 fire drills throughout the school year. So if your child comes home and said there was a fire drill, that'll be what they're talking about. Another thing we do is we do lockdown drills where we just want to make sure that all children know kind of what to do in the event that somebody's in the school we don't want them in here. And kind of just, it's really for safety reasons, okay? So your child might come home and talk about, oh, my teacher was talking about this today, we practiced this. So just so you're aware, those do happen, and it's all for safety reasons.
Oh, I'm up now. So just quickly, what we'll talk about a little bit is what's covered in pre-K and then kindergarten as well. The state of Maine has a 4-year-old developmentally appropriate curriculum for all pre-K students, and it's called Pre-K for Me, and it doesn't just go over academics like math and literacy, it incorporates that, but it also includes very hands-on, play-based social emotional learning as well, motor skills, and all of these different aspects. So there are 6 units throughout the entire year that are covered, and I'm sure you will see a lot more of that next year. Now, kindergarten, we're going to elevate that a little bit, right? They're a little older. And we move through, oh, one thing I didn't mention in pre-K is what we call Heggerty. It's a program we use in kindergarten as well, all the way up through 3rd grade. And that is very phonemic awareness based, which just means sounds. Okay, so if I say ah, or here's the letter A, what sound does it make? Ah. So phonemic awareness sounds or a language, we want to do a lot of exploration with that. So that continues into kindergarten. And then we use what's called literacy footprints for guided reading groups in kindergarten. We have a program for math, Reveal, and we follow that through, and it goes through counting to 100, number ID, and measurement, geometry, which is basic shapes. And then we also use mystery science, which is connected to our next gen science standards. And that's a very curiosity, hands-on science. And then we include citizenship basically through every single day, following our core values of safe, respectful, and responsible, as well as our guiding principles. So you'll hear more about those as well. Evaluations, that's also me. So in pre-K, every pre-K student, it goes through an evaluation it's called the Dial 4, and they receive that within the first 30 days of being in school. And any kindergarten student who did not come to our public pre-K will receive that as well within the first 30 days of being in kindergarten. So those results will be sent home. Also, kindergarten students are taking what's called the NWEA testing. Everybody in the state does it. And kindergarten does it in the winter time, so around January, February, and again at the end of the school year. So they're actually doing it this week, all kindergarten students. And those will also be sent home in the progress reports. Literacy screeners. We have the Hegarty, which I mentioned before, all about that oral language. We have that screener, as well as iReady, which is a math diagnostic screener as well. These are kindergarten-based evaluations and assessments. Pre-K does their dial at the beginning, and then the teachers kind of check in with what they're learning on, but not a state or formalized assessment.
That's me. Before I go on, do you guys have anything to add that we've missed so far? Good so far? Okay, awesome. All right, so health information. This is also part of your registration packet. You'll see that there's some health information to fill out for us. Just a couple key things to be aware of. We do need vaccination records or a plan to be vaccinated, because everybody knows how hard it is to get to the doctors right now and all of that. We understand that. We make plans with families, but we do need those. We do hearing and vision screenings. Our nurse does all of that here. If she has any that are rise to like any concerns or flags, she'll let you know. We mentioned, or Mr. Glenn did briefly, but we have a beautiful nurses station. You'll see that on your way down to pre-K when you do check that out when you come for open house. She has everything that we need there, bathroom, a bed for students if they need to stay there. If students are feeling ill, she'll call you. And usually if they have a temperature or they're just not acting quite right what they normally would, she'll give you a call, and we kind of partner with you when it comes to that. But we do the hearing and vision screenings, and then also we do need a copy of their yearly physical. Again, if you don't have it day one, that's okay. As long as there's a plan in place to get that completed, that's all we need to know. So, okay. All right, so we're gonna move into a few different tips. Attendance. So here in this building, you'll see that we take a lot of pride in our attendance. Attendance means that the students are here, okay? So what that looks like is, I know Mr. Glenn went over our schedule with you. Things happen, right? I think this year was the year of illnesses. Like one after the other, after the other, after the other, right? We are not asking for you to send your children in if they're sick. What we are asking, though, is that you partner with us and let us know if they're not going to be here. There's lots of ways to do that. So we mentioned Mrs. Storman. She is our head of our registration, but she also does our attendance as well. So if you're not going, or your children are not going to make it into school, you can call and leave a message at any point. So if you're an early bird, you notice that they're sick, you can call and leave a voicemail. You can call when we open. Another thing that you can do too is reach out to your classroom teacher. A lot of them use a program we call Class Dojo. You can, or email, but you can reach out to them as well. The biggest thing is letting us know why they're not here. We have what we call excused or unexcused absences. So if we don't know why they're not here, they become unexcused. Once we have quite a few unexcused absences, or we start noticing, then we're going to give you a call and say, hey, you know, what's going on? Let's partner together to figure out how we can figure out an easier way for you, okay? There's lots of ways to let us know if they're not going to be here. As long as you keep that open communication with us, that's all we're asking. Pre-K is a great time to set the tone for attendance and having those healthy habits of coming to school. So waking up, you know, getting up early, we do start early, but having them come to school, going through those school routines, knowing that importance of being here. That starts at pre-K, pre-K, right? It's important to come to school. We learn, we play, we have a lot of fun here, and just encouraging your children to come to school it starts at the youngest level. So. All right, routine. So I kind of talked a little bit about this. So it's really great time again to start routines with students. You can start even this summer. So getting ready for certain bedtimes, breakfast in the morning, folders. Most teachers have folders. They have specific routines that they ask students to work on. We usually say, towards the end of the summer, we start getting school ready. School's a really great way to learn all of those routines as well. But we say bedtimes, eating those healthy foods, coming to school, arriving on time. Again, that communication with us. School does start at 7:30, but anytime between 7:30 and 8 is considered on time. After 8, we do ask that you sign them in at the office and give us a reason as to why they're late. We understand that life happens, right? You might miss the bus, something happens on the way here. Just communicate with us. That's all we're asking. One thing we do ask is if a student does happen to miss the bus, that there's some sort of plan B to get them here. And again, letting us know about that ahead of time is the best that we can do. So having those early routines, we build those in pre-K all the way up to 5th grade, and then moving on as well. So having those healthy school habits. Okay, pre-K is building those independent skills. So kindergarten as well, but specifically right now speaking about pre-K. So some of the independent skills that we ask that they either come in having a great head start on or already doing is toileting. And that includes wiping as well, okay? When you have 16 kids in a classroom, it's really hard for a teacher to stop and go help wipe. They will coach, okay? But usually that's just the very beginning of the year, but we do ask that they are toilet trained. Also zipping, right? Zipping, buttoning, that goes for their clothing or winter gear. Again, as long as they're working towards it, we don't expect them to be masters in the craft when they get here. Just as long as you're working with them on that, that's helpful for us. Let's see, snacks. Again, if you do send in a snack, opening snacks are sometimes tricky for friends, the zipping of the Ziploc baggies, things like that. Again, we will always help them, we will coach them through it, but working towards some of those independent skills would be very, very helpful before they come into school. Let's see. Oh, shoes too. Putting on shoes. I'm not sure that, tying shoes is a little bit trickier, but putting on their shoes, being ready to put on winter gear, things like that is also really helpful. Am I missing anything in that realm? No? Okay. Awesome. Let's see. That brings us to the end of our presentation. Oh.
Sorry, I did want to mention one thing that I forgot, that this entire building is a Title I school-wide building. So what that means is we receive federal funds to support student academic success. So more so kindergarten is what we're talking about. It helps with students that we find throughout the evaluations and screeners and classroom activities that they might need just a little extra support in an area. We have people available to come in and give some extra support either in ELA or math to the students to kind of fill in maybe some gaps or strengthen their foundation. And with that, we have literacy nights, math nights, and things like that, that we invite families to come in and learn a little bit more about those things as well. So just wanted to put that plug in too.
Okay. Great, thank you.
Thank you.
Does anyone have any questions for us right now? Any questions are good questions, so. Yes.
I saw in the registration packet there was something about asthma action plans.
Yeah.
My son does. How do we go about setting up the plan?
That's a great question. So our question is around students who may need a health plan around asthma. So our school nurse, when you fill out that paperwork, it will flag her to give you a call to have a plan. It's always good to reach out to, though, if you don't hear, because obviously the start of the school year, there's a lot going on. But we want to make sure that those plans are in place right in the beginning of the school year. So, so you can fill out the paperwork, but then if you don't hear from us, or feel free to reach out, either one. Okay, good question.
Yeah.
Any
Any others? Yeah.
When will we know if they're morning or afternoon? Will that be in the second week of August?
Yes. Yes, it sure will. Yep, great question. Yep, so in the we say second week of August, probably like August 1st is when we'll start collecting all of that. The reason for the later notification around that is we usually do have a lot of registrations over the summer. Okay. So we're trying to fill in our class lists. Sometimes we do have families that have a preference of AM or PM. If you do, let us know or note that on your registration paperwork, because it helps us when we're creating class lists to know that information. Yeah.
Any other questions?
Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah, well, we'll be around, so you can come up and ask us if you have any additional questions. Like we mentioned, Jessica Hall is here if you have any specific bus questions. She's here to answer those for you. But if, yeah.
I did want to put a plug in also. Our librarian, Mrs. Harrison,
yes.
she is doing our book fair right now this week, it's our spring book fair. And she said if you wanted to stop in on the way out, please do. If you get down there between now and the next 10 minutes, there is another kindergarten class in there, but that is fine. She said you're more than welcome to come in, peruse the books if you'd like to, or just kind of look around the area down there too.
Perfect. Well, thank you guys for coming. Don't hesitate to reach out if you have any questions.
Yeah. Thank you.
Thank you.